All right, let's get right into it. We hear the term workplace wellness all the time, right? And usually we think of things like yoga classes or maybe a meditation app. But is that really it? Today, we're going to pull back the curtain and see how the smartest companies are actually using wellness not just as a perk, but as a serious strategic advantage to win. And you might be thinking, why should I care about this now? Well, it's simple. The skills you learn to manage stress, they aren't just for some job 10 years down the road. Nope. They're the exact same skills that can help you nail your exams and just manage life better today. Think of it like building a personal toolkit that's going to serve you forever. I mean, let's be real for a second. The whole idea of jumping into the workforce, with all of its deadlines and pressures, yeah, that can be a huge source of stress. And you know what? The best organizations, they get this. They don't just cross their fingers and hope their people can handle it. They're actively building systems to make work less stressful in the first place. So what does this look like on the ground? Well, it's usually a pretty familiar menu. You've got the wellness programs, gym memberships, health apps, that kind of thing. Then you have the mindfulness tools, like meditation breaks, and of course the really practical stuff, time management workshops, and everybody's favorite, flex time. And on the surface, all of that sounds fantastic, but is it really enough? Let's actually organize those into what we can call the standard wellness playbook. It's got 4 main plays. First, you've got those big wellness programs for your overall health. Second, mindfulness practices to help you focus. Third, practical time management training. And fourth, flex time, which gives you control over your own schedule. These are kind of the big 4 that you'll see almost everywhere. And hey, this isn't just some textbook theory. Look at a company like Shopify right here in Canada. They are pouring money into mental health benefits, wellness spending accounts, and they even have meeting-free days. Or take a global giant like Google. They're famous for their Search Inside Yourself mindfulness training and for being huge champions of flexible work. These tools are definitely out there. But, and this is a big but, here is where the story takes a really critical turn. This quote from Jennifer Moss in the Harvard Business Review says it all. Burnout is about your workplace, not your people. Wow. I mean, that one sentence just changes the entire conversation. It forces us to ask a much, much tougher question. Are all these yoga classes and wellness apps just a superficial fix? You know, a corporate Band-Aid that gets slapped on a deeper problems like impossible workloads or a toxic company culture? This is the core question we're tackling. Are these real strategies, or are they just a clever way to shift the responsibility for burnout from the company onto you? Now, to answer that, we have to start thinking like a strategist. So we're going to use 2 really powerful management theories as our special lenses. Think of these as tools that will help you look at any company, whether it's for an internship or your first big job, and see what's really going on under the surface. Okay, lens number 1 is the Job Demands Resources Model, or JDR for short. It's a fantastic way to break things down. Basically, it says every single job has 2 sides, demands and resources. Job demands are all the things that drain your battery. You know, a heavy workload, tight deadlines, or emotionally draining work. Then on the other side of the scale, you have job resources. These are the battery chargers. These are the things that energize you and help you cope. Stuff like having control over your work, getting clear feedback, having a supportive team, and chances to learn new things. The whole idea is simple. Burnout happens when your demands are constantly higher than your resources. So the strategic goal for a company is to keep these 2 in balance. Our second lens is the psychological contract theory. Now, this one is all about the unwritten rules, the unspoken expectations between you and your boss. Your official contract covers your salary, sure, but this psychological contract covers things like fairness, trust, and a promise of a reasonable work-life balance. So when a company preaches wellness, but then expects you to work 60-hour weeks, they're not just being hypocritical, they're breaking that unspoken contract. And once that trust is gone, man, it is incredibly hard to get back. Okay, we have our analytical lenses. Now, let's put them to the test. We're going to look at 2 absolute titans of the tech world and see how their wellness strategies actually play out in the real world. This is where the theory gets real. First up, the Canadian telecom giant TELUS. Their stated goal is to be the healthiest organization in the world. And their approach is what we can call systematic wellness. It's all driven by data, and it's built right into their operations. They offer a massive $5,000 mental health benefit for each family, and they use data to pinpoint stress hotspots in the company and then send in resources. This is a highly structured, highly engineered system. Now let's contrast that with Salesforce. They're famous for their ohana, or family culture. Their approach is way more organic. Let's call it values-driven wellness. It's just baked into their leadership style. The CEO, Mark Benioff, is a huge believer that employee well-being is just as critical as shareholder returns. For them, wellness isn't some program you add on. It's something that just radiates from the very core of their culture.
So when you put them side by side, you see two totally different but equally successful paths to strategic wellness. TELUS is laser-focused on beefing up job resources with amazing programs and benefits. That's a classic JDR move that builds a strong, trusting psychological contract. Salesforce also provides great resources, but they lean more into the social side, that sense of community and autonomy, creating a psychological contract based on a shared mission. Both work incredibly well, just with different blueprints.
So what's the big point here? What can we pull from all this as we think about the future of work and, our own careers? Well, it really boils down to three core principles. One, wellness has to be systemic. It needs to be baked into the design of the work itself, not just an add-on. Two, it has to be authentic. If what the company says doesn't match what people actually experience every day, the whole thing will backfire, big time. And three, well-being is a performance driver. It's not about being soft. It's a strategic investment in your talent, your innovation, and your company's ability to bounce back from anything. Now, let's just zoom all the way out for a second and look at the big picture. The actual nature of stress at work has changed over time. Back in the industrial age, the big enemy was physical exhaustion. Then, in the information age we've been in, it was the emotional burnout from being always on. So, what's coming next? The next frontier, I think, is cognitive wellness. Think about it. As AI starts automating more of the routine tasks, the work that's left for us humans is going to be the really intense stuff, more creative, more strategic, more collaborative. The new challenge won't be managing your inbox. It'll be managing the cognitive fatigue that comes from constant high-stakes thinking. In the near future, the most valuable resource a company has won't be its technology. It'll be the focused, creative, and resilient minds of its people. And the winners will be the companies that figure out how to protect and boost that cognitive horsepower. So, as we wrap up, let's bring it all the way back home, back to you. We've talked about corporate strategy and future trends, but all of this starts with small, personal actions. Looking at those simple tools we started with, which one of these techniques are you going to try out this week to manage your own demands and build up your own resources? Because really, the strategy starts with you.